are now listening to your girlfriend's favorite podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the show.
All right, here's our first ever episode
That's
of We're Not Sure of the Name.
Right. Title,
I'm glad to be here.
To be determined.
to be determined. This is our first episode. If you call now, 614-537-1095, you get a free t-shirt. If you call in the next 10 minutes. The title of the show is untitled as of now, but by the time this is posted,
We will have one.
yeah, they'll
Okay.
be searching something.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
About the show. This is a kind of a topics/debate show where,
Hey, maybe you should say who you are first.
well, I was going to get to that in a second.
The show is more important than the people. Like, we gotta,
That's true. Let's
Got
talk
it.
about the team. All right, Eric, that's me. I'm the least educated person here.
I would dispute that.
I'm the only person without a degree.
Oh, okay.
Undisputable.
I
We're
guess
all
I
very
would
educated.
agree
Save
with
more
that.
lives.
We're not debating that. We're not to that point yet. I am the tallest person here. Mark,
Yeah.
most qualified.
For,
Yes.
This show.
oh, okay.
You're a techie too,
Mm,
and you have a communications degree.
that is true.
Also, you're the least Ohio,
Oh.
and so
yeah.
that's
Did you mention his radio experience?
he has a lot of radio experience. That's why he's the most qualified too. Brandon is still the most confused about why we're doing this and why he's involved.
That is Brandon ESP. Thank you.
Brendan, ESP. Sorry, Jesse, the most handsome,
Oh.
and the most handsy,
Mm.
and and probably the most educated legally.
By NBA terms.
Oh,
Right,
well,
but
yeah.
That
yeah,
doesn't mean
yeah.
anything.
It means something.
Yeah.
You're the only master here.
First, I'd like to talk about the title. I thought of a title,
Mm.
but I didn't actually invent it. The title is Save It for the Podcast.
I love it.
Mm.
Jesse's been using it.
I love it.
I think it's kind of a...
Maybe that's why I love
it
it.
works.
Mm.
Yeah, because right.
Yeah, I like that. Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the
Ooh.
podcast. He's been...
I was prepared to hate whatever you were going to say that wasn't mass debaters.
Bro, that was the original...
I was prepared to hate anything
I-
else, and I actually like that.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's the mass debaters. I think I think pretty soon the podcast is going to
Evolve.
and so I don't want to be stuck. Like, I don't want the title to talk
Into
about
a
what we're
debate
doing.
format.
Yeah,
Right.
I get
so save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Jesse's
I
been
still advocate for White Ranch.
White Ranch is on the table. This is a discussion. This is so you advocate for White Ranch, and Jesse, you tell us why it should be save it for the podcast.
Well, as much as I've been saying that, I did not even think it would be an option.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Go ahead.
Well, this was all part of my plan. Just every chance I got, I was going to throw it in there.
All right.
Oh, I mean, in basic terms, we all, when we get together, say really weird stuff, some crazy things. That should be on a podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I say save it for the podcast.
Well, okay, now the question would be, to me, now are we going to be paranoid when we talk without a microphone?
Well,
Because we're like, I don't want to say this because
That's
this is
exactly
kind of
right.
funny, and we should maybe save this for the podcast.
I feel like you guys have enough comedic brains to not waste it in just normal conversation.
Well, I think ultimately what we're going for, and we can probably just agree on this, is a Truman Show style podcast where we're just always being recorded. The four of us.
That's why I have this mic attached to me.
Right. In
Surgically.
your skin.
Yes.
Yeah. I was wondering. It bothers me while I'm at work.
Right. Yeah, we didn't tell you that before.
Oh.
That was a surprise.
I assumed.
Yeah. So eventually we'll have such good material. We'll have 24 hours a day
I like that.
of podcast material.
So
Yeah,
does
well,
that
that's-
settle it? Is it save it for the podcast?
Well, that's Brandon, your side of the debate, White Ranch.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on White Ranch as the name.
Now you said Heather supported this idea. Was it her idea?
Heather, she is my wife.
Was it her idea?
It was not. It was my idea.
Okay.
And it was originally because I thought that there were going to be 4 white guys. We're all white.
Don't tell people.
You just spoiled the ending.
I know.
There goes our M Night twist.
I know
There
that's
goes
racist.
episode 20. I don't know what we're going to talk about now.
But I thought we would be recording in a ranch. As fate would have it,
Right.
Mark lives
Split level.
in a
What is
So
this?
yeah, it's a split
two-story.
level. It's a
Yeah.
split.
It's
So
a
we could be the white splits.
two-
White
Yeah.
split.
double split, which is my favorite move.
The white double split? Okay.
I will have to Urban Dictionary that one.
So I liked it just because it almost seemed meaningless and arbitrary. However,
So you were trying to find a name that matches the actual show.
yeah,
Like that was weird. I want to replay that. Yeah, you just said actually.
yeah.
Let the record show Eric is taking notes and he's using a mechanical pencil.
Well,
And right now it just says Urban Dick.
It really does just say Urban Dick.
that gave me an idea for other material. Urban Dick.
I am quite familiar.
It's a Bic. I just want to throw that out there.
Urban Bic.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Bic.
Yep. For the free mechanical
Not a
pencils,
sponsor.
10-pack. This one's purple.
So you like the idea of it was really about nothing. Your thought was probably that the podcast is like a show about. It's almost like the Seinfeld of podcasts. It's a show about nothing.
Well, yeah, may I interject? I guess I don't need to because it's my mic right now. So, I had a thought. It was that, well, I'm honored to be on this show. Let me just start with that because I am totally unsure of why I'm here and what we're doing.
Right.
Hence the title.
We're going to get to that.
It means nothing to me. So I thought, what the heck are we doing? I don't know what we're doing here. Apparently, we're going to try something anyways. Excuse me. So that's why I thought the title was apropos.
Well,
However, I'm not.
it isn't anymore.
I'm not opposed to save it for the podcast.
Okay.
It fits what we're doing, and it
Sounds like a pretty one-sided debate then.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody...
Wait, were we debating
Well,
the title? Because
well,
maybe we can
that-
just go with
it's-
mass debaters.
Well, that at the
Which was
time,
the
that was the
original
title.
name.
yeah. I mean,
Now we're changing the title.
Plus, I'm a sensitive guy, and I don't want to.
oh god.
I don't want to.
Hey, Jesse,
Sorry.
cool it.
All this talk is really.
Jesse's doing
know-
push-ups. I don't know if I mentioned Jesse's,
98, 99.
Jesse's the most handsome person in the group.
Jesse's dripping over there, and it's not sweat.
I know you're not supposed to do this, but can someone put the dog upstairs real fast
Oh,
because that
yeah.
will keep getting picked up.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's like me playing Halo on the elliptical. So okay. So our only two options are White Ranch
Wait.
or White Split.
Are you guys comfortable with this? Eric is gone. I feel really
Yeah,
uncomfortable
no, what
by
have you
his
guys been
absence.
talking about?
I don't know what.
nothing.
He's the leader.
Eat up and we'll tell you.
Who was the leader, by the way?
Eric, of
Yeah.
course.
It was
Oh,
Mark's
that's-
idea, wasn't it?
No. This was Eric's brainchild.
Thank you.
Eric is the leader. Mark gets the most royalties out of
Right.
this.
Mark gets 27%, I think.
I think we were up to like 31, 32.
Yeah, I think it was around 30, but that's
Well, you lost a few
neither here or there.
because-
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Because
why.
he had to bring a mic and a
Right.
and a headphones.
Bowden just took away a couple.
a couple points.
Yeah, you're back down to 27.
Okay.
I'm okay with 1% of the proceeds.
Ooh,
I said,
that's on record.
That is
Brandon.
on legal
That's
record.
a verbal contract.
I'm just happy to be hanging with my friends and talking about whatever we want to talk about.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because I don't have any more notes.
Well,
We've gotten to the end of the
We've
notes.
gotten to
that brings us to our first segment as Brandon spills it.
Right.
Urban Dick.
What we drink?
Urban Dick. Oh, what we drinking?
What we drinking? That's
one
the
of
new
our
segment.
one of our most favorite segments, right?
What are you
we
drinking? What are you drinking, Jesse?
Tonight I've got some coffee that I brewed up. Tinder Coffee out of Indianapolis.
Oh, that's another shout out.
Another shout out to our sponsor, Tinder
Thanks,
Coffee. Has nothing
Tinder-
to do with swipe right.
Okay.
It
I'm glad you clarified.
It only makes sense that I would go second since I am the only other person in this podcast with coffee.
Okay.
I'm drinking 4-day-old Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Oh, is that the Dunkin' Donuts in a box?
It was a box of Joe.
Oh, the
I got
4-day-old.
I got it for the moving day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4-day-old blend roast.
I love that blend.
Well,
It was hot coffee, and now I turned it into iced coffee. And I don't have the time to get into the details of how that happened, but
does it get better with age?
actually it does. I think it's
And
better
what's
now
next to
than
the
on
coffee?
day one.
What do you got?
Well, that's my backup drink, or rather,
Well, and that's
right
what
now
I think
my
the rest of
primary
us are drinking. Eric and I
is the same thing
Right. The backup drink.
Eric and I are drinking.
Thanks to Mark. Go ahead.
the Wild Turkey American Honey whiskey.
Not a sponsor.
I know that it is a very weak whiskey.
Yeah,
so
we're working up to it.
yeah.
It's a
I mean,
transition.
yeah.
Well, you did put a lot of ice cubes in there
Yep.
Yeah.
that have melted since we started recording. So
Yeah, that's-
that might have something to do with it.
Well, I mean, just from anyone who's listening who drinks whiskey, they're going to immediately judge Wild Turkey American Honey, and so I am already just putting it out there that it is. It's not a, what is it, Woodford or a Bullet or one of those, and I understand that.
Well, if any of those companies want to send us
Yeah, that's true.
whiskey,
While we do the show, yeah,
Right.
I would be more than
Send
happy
us
to
your
sponsor.
whiskey. Tell us why you're better than Wild Turkey.
and just so we're not allowed to give our address out, but just so you know who to call, it's 614-537-1095. And that many of you that are listening to this first podcast are probably only listening to it because we've referenced it on our 100th podcast. This podcast, which is relatively small at this point because nobody knows we're doing it except for our wives. As we grow in popularity, people will probably want to back listen.
Yeah, that's a good
starting
point,
at
actually.
one.
And so it's okay not to have a name right off the bat, right? I mean,
Right.
just
I
because
think
of that
so.
right there, because most people
Yeah.
aren't going to even hear this one.
Yep. They're not going to hear this until what, 10? 5?
I would like to think,
7.
yeah, 5 to 10 will
5
definitely
to
be able to
10.
Somewhere
pull.
in
We'll
there.
be able to be pulling some numbers.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to talk real quick. This isn't funny.
It doesn't need to be. That's not why
Okay.
we're here. We're not here to be funny.
I
We're here
recently
to
bought a
talk.
thermos.
I love thermoses.
Oh,
Not even kidding. Not even kidding.
I'm glad I can talk to
I
somebody.
love a good thermos.
I think it's a Coleman. I'm not sure. It's all stainless steel. When you put something hot into the thermos, you're supposed to prep it with hot water to heat it up. It makes coffee as hot as the moment that you poured it in.
This sounds like
8
condom
hours
instructions.
later.
Oh, I've heard, all right, I heard of
The
this.
same instructions
That's
on my condom
awesome.
box.
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to heat those up first. I don't use those.
I have no need for them either
Oh, got it.
any longer.
Yeah. Just a side note, I suppose. But we all have kids. They're all the same age.
I said longer.
Yeah, that was one of the weird things I would say, is that we all happen to have
yeah.
kids at the same exact time. I mean, the odds on that were...
We've also
Wait,
it's only partly odds because we've all known each other for at least 5 years.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, but, like-
when one started, the rest felt
Yeah.
like
Well,
dominoes.
not
Right.
even that, though. I mean, if you really think about it, Eric, you guys weren't telling anyone you guys were trying. We were living with you at the time. We didn't know you were trying.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so you got pregnant at that point. We had been trying. And then we ended up getting pregnant just like 2 months after you.
Yeah.
Now, you guys had a plan to conceive at the same exact time, right?
Yeah. Well, we thought that's why they moved in. That we thought that they would cycle together. I don't really know beyond that how.
How it works.
No, I have no clue how women work.
I
I'm
have
not
the
sure
same amount of
anyone
knowledge
knows.
of interstellar travel as I do the female body.
makes
But I
sense.
assumed that they would
sync up.
and then get pregnant at the same time. Now,
Yes.
the
The
Hollises-
menstruation.
Now, they catch it,
we
right?
definitely didn't know the Hollises were trying.
Well, that's the weird part, though, is when
That
we
was a
found out we
surprise.
were pregnant, we announced it to everyone. You, Eric, had already been pregnant for a couple months. Well, your
Right.
wife was.
Yep.
And then when
Thank
we
you.
told everyone, I remember Hannah saying, man, if Jesse and I got pregnant, like right now, we could be right around you guys. And then what?
You happened to tell us,
Yeah.
and we were pregnant and didn't know it.
And didn't
at
even
the
know
time.
it at that time. So that was what I'm saying. All
Just
the
like
odds
a
of this is
poet.
really weird.
Yeah, that's true. It did work out really closely.
Yeah.
Everybody's too.
Which explains
right?
why we all hated our lives at the exact
At the
same
same
time.
time, right.
The congruency of their menstruation was irreverent.
Well, then I would say, Brandon got pregnant soon after. Like, well, actually, what's funny is Brandon actually got pregnant not soon after.
Not me, but
It was like
Heather.
Heather, like 3 or
wife.
4 months pregnant after even all of us. But what's funny is you're still right around the rest of our birthdays because the boys were here early because you had twins. So was you guys actually
Brandon,
caught
talk
up.
about that. Talk about how you left your wife in a hospital for how long?
Yeah.
Well, for
Tell
at
us-
his defense, he left her pregnant. She happened to go to a hospital while he was gone.
for 10 weeks.
Tell us about a time when you've experienced conflict with your wife.
Well,
that's
might I just say that conflict with another can be summarized with one word, beef, which is, of course, conflict with another,
Urban Dictionary.
air quotes. I don't know. I'm actually feeling a little bit gypped right now because we got sidebarred hard.
Yeah, true.
I wanted to talk about thermoses, or is it thermi? Thermi?
Thermopylae.
Plural thermos.
Thermopylae.
And here we are talking about our children. I don't care about children.
Well,
I really have a passion for thermoses.
Okay.
But I think it's
I
so
agree.
important because I think because of the births, this podcast itself has been birthed.
That's a good point.
I'm not even making this up
True.
as I go. The only
this
reason
isn't scripted.
so
this
you
sounds
planned
a
it.
little scripted.
the only
you
thing
definitely planned this.
the only thing in my that Target as a store, not a sponsor, has for me is thermoses.
well, true.
I want to
We've all
apologize
got
for my stomach growling there.
we all have lady parts. No, that's not what I
Wait,
mean. to
what?
say.
Are you still scripted?
We all have
You have to revise the
lady
script.
counterparts.
Right.
Yes. And of course, we all know that ladies like to go to Target. Do they not?
My wife
They
loves it.
love them some Target.
So,
Wait a second. Are all of our wives white?
Yes.
we are all white.
That makes sense
Yeah.
then.
All of our wives are white.
Yep.
That's racist. But when we go to Target, which I wouldn't go, but when we do, the only thing I care to look at
The advertisements.
is thermoses.
Thermoses. I mean,
Because I have a passion for thermoses.
okay.
I don't even know why.
Tell me about your thermos.
I have 2 or 3. Okay, I'm not a collector.
What's the brand?
I had 4. I returned one.
Don't say the brand on the air.
Wait,
Okay.
I thought
But
we've already
say-
said lots of
but
brands.
say the
on
brand.
So I had a brand that rhymes with Ranley.
Okay, say the brand.
If you couldn't put it together, that was a Stanley thermos.
Oh,
We'd like to thank our good sponsor Stanley.
thank you, Stanley.
I love Stanley,
Stanley.
as a brand, and let me just say,
His
I wanted,
thermoses are
I
great.
wanted so badly to love the Stanley because it's the classic, iconic green camping thermos.
I don't know anything about thermoses, so this
Yeah.
is all
So I
news
went
to
in,
me.
I bought the Stanley,
Okay.
I gave it a try.
Oh,
You have to pre-charge the thermos with hot water before you put in the contents which you desire to keep warm.
well, that's how my
makes
my
sense.
thermos is. You don't have to, I suppose, but
No,
Oh.
you don't.
sorry.
If you buy a Thermos brand thermos, the thermos, I don't even know, is that a colloquialism?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know what that word means, but I think it is.
My Thermos brand container for keeping beverages warm or cold.
Right.
It outperforms the Stanley by miles.
Okay.
With putting hot water in.
No pre-charge required.
However,
I can put
would the thermos outperform itself if you pre-charged it?
Boom.
Science.
I don't even understand the pre-charging.
If you put hot
theory-
water in
yeah,
it,
so-
like
so-
you know, if you put coffee
Yeah.
That's what
Into
I
a
do with
cup-
mine every time. I use a Contigo mug,
you have to do this.
which is, in my opinion, the best coffee mug there is.
But a travel mug is different from a thermos.
But wait.
May I say.
You have to,
Well, I'm just saying, I put in hot water every time, whether I'm making coffee at
I was going
home.
to say,
I put in hot
so you
water
have to do
in
this
the mug.
pre-charge every time before you actually use. You have to, while you're making your coffee,
You don't
should
have
have
to,
hot water
but
sitting in it. I'm
It's
just
just
curious.
the fact that if you
depends
have
on
a cold mug and you
Oh.
pour in hot, it's
Yeah.
going to make it cooler.
Cool.
But then once you close the lid, it's going to stay at the temperature.
Now,
That
It's
at.
much like rewinding your VCR your
VCR.
no
VHS.
VHS. Thank you, Eric.
Right.
It's much like rewinding your VHS tape before you return it.
That's
That's just being kind.
that's irreverent. That has absolutely nothing to do with what
Well,
we're
you
talking
get
about.
the gist of what I'm saying.
I see. I'm
The
more
thermos
confused by that.
does not
example.
require pre-charging. I simply put my desired beverage into said
Okay.
thermos, upon which, ergo, the thermos temperature internally
stays the same.
is stable
Have
versus
you,
the Stanley.
Wait, Brandon, have you used the Stanley without pre-charging?
I did. I tried.
And how's that work out for you?
It doesn't.
Oh,
It gets cold in just a
Wow.
matter of hours.
shiver me timbers.
How
And
many
that's-
hours? How many hours?
Maybe let's say like 2.5 hours.
so
It's
how
cold.
many hours do you need it to be hot?
Well, with my Thermos brand thermos, I can easily put a beverage in uncharged, and it'll stay warm for 12 hours.
Why do you need that?
Not even kidding.
How long is your work day?
I nurse. This doesn't apply to everyone. I drink very slowly.
Yeah, I know that.
Like-
That's true.
I will buy
48 hours or
4 days.
I will buy a venti beverage. Not a sponsor. Venti.
Venti.
Venti's not a brand. I don't think you have.
Venti. Yum.
It's just Italian.
It's just a
Italy's
size,
not buying
right?
us anything.
Oh wait, I don't even get ventis. I get grandes. I get a grande beverage. I
think
will
that's
drink
Spanish.
that from morning till lunchtime.
So then, why do you even
Most
drink?
Americans will consume that in 30 minutes
Yeah,
or less.
yeah.
Easy.
I would say that's
I'll get
definitely
4 hours
normal.
of it easy. So when I get a thermos, which again is
So you're just drinking for the taste,
intended for camping,
right? Are you just drinking coffee for the taste? That's my question.
Absolutely, I'm
Okay.
a sipper, right? I'm
If
a
you were
sipper.
drinking coffee for the taste, you wouldn't be drinking
I am
Dunkin' Donuts.
I am sipping on some.
Well,
scissor.
now we just lost our
Sorry,
sponsor,
yeah, we
Dunkin'
just lost
Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Our major sponsor, Dunkin' Donuts, has supported us over the years,
We'd
and
like
you
to
need
thank
to say something
Dunkin'
positive.
Donuts.
I affectionately refer to Dunkin' Donuts as double D's, and henceforth shall we.
Yeah, since we lost them as a sponsor, we aren't allowed to say their name anymore.
Now, I will
so
say
we will be
we
saying
now have to
double
say
Ds.
double D.
My collection of thermoses is what again? Thermos brand thermos.
Right.
I have a
Stanley.
smaller version of the thermos without the handle,
Okay.
and I also have one because I did not take my thermos when I was deployed to a top secret location known as Al Udeed.
Brandon,
This actually brings up two topics. For me.
So
Really,
I
I'm
now
glad
have
you
three.
mentioned all this.
let me hear Jesse.
Number one, Eric, why did you bring this up?
Brandon or the thermos?
The thermos.
I honestly brought it up because I've never owned a thermos before, and I bought this thermos, and I did not expect it to keep things warm for so long. And I just wanted to tell you guys.
and you had no idea that Brandon was
Brandon
such an aficionado.
well, I don't know. He sounds just like a picky jerk. Honestly.
I think that's what it amounts to in the end, but
Well, yes, construction.
because of my personality type, I
background.
tend to be that way with the things that I like in general.
Okay.
We'll establish that now, and
Okay.
you might notice that
henceforth.
henceforth. Thank you, Mark. And our 100th, all the way up to our 100th episode, which will be our anniversary special,
And that's a good one. I've already heard it.
guest starring Dane Cook.
Did it come out well?
It comes out very well.
We did 100 episodes before we aired any. We wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
We wanted to be very
And
sure.
the special guests.
Right.
Dane Cook.
I can't believe he came
Well,
to
don't give
their
it all away,
100th podcast. That's a lot of pressure. I mean, for him
Hey,
to be able to come
actually,
to our podcast.
Let's do this. Let's give a sneak preview of that episode with Dane Cook.
Okay, here we
Can
go.
we-
We're gonna
can you
cut
play
for a
that
minute.
for
We're
us?
gonna cut for just a minute.
Yeah, well, let's do that. I'll go ahead and I'll slice that in here
Okay.
right now. So just everyone be quiet for just
All
a
right, and
moment.
here's our 100th episode with Dane Cook.
Well, yeah, very much so. I mean, everything leading up to that point, especially when my folks got sick. You know, my mom and dad had two different forms of cancer, and I lost them both within 9 months to each other. And everything up until then was really pretty much bliss. You know, kind of living the dream and really showing them everything that I'd hoped to accomplish. So when those things happened, you know, even though it was turbulent in the time, coming away from it, it gave me a lot more balance in my life. It was like the greatest gift my parents could have given me, even though it was through losing them.
Okay.
That was
That was a good I'm
See?
excited
I'm
about that
surprised
one.
he went there.
well.
he
you shouldn't
really
be
went
too
deep.
Surprised.
Really dark.
Wasn't as funny as I expected.
No, really
but
dark.
Really dark.
Yeah.
And really
the
deep.
tears and
And really, I can't think of anything to describe it besides saying "really."
Right. Well,
and then
because
another
we thought
word.
he was going to be funny. It was
Exactly.
more a serious tone.
he was shaking the whole time.
It was like the deep darkies.
That it was exactly
Because
like
we
that.
thought we'd have to laugh them out.
Right.
Right.
Real quick, I would like to just say we all received a text during this podcast.
I know. If you didn't hear, go off by.
From Brandon's wife, who doesn't realize that maybe don't send a text during recording. It says, her name is Heather, by the way. Heather. She's a real bee. We're not allowed to say, we're not swearing.
I
at this
thought
point.
beauty was fine.
She's
yeah,
a real
she's
beauty.
beautiful. Brandon won't
A
mind.
breezy, if you will. Hey guys, hope your first podcast goes well. I can't wait to listen. And then now somebody's talking about Grindr.
Yeah.
Let's have a text segment, okay, where we just talk about texts that we received during the show.
Wow. All right.
Because
That
I'm
would
on
be
a
an interesting segment.
I'm on a ton of threads. I don't want to brag.
Yeah.
Is that braggy?
That's not bad.
Seems
No.
a little braggy.
No.
I'm on a bunch of threads
Yeah.
with all kinds of people, and one of them is Heather and
Mm-hmm.
U4, and the other one is with some
Other
guy
people.
that loves the show Grinder.
Grindr.
Now, by our 100th episode, probably what we will be mentioning is the fact that Grinder is no longer a
On the
show.
air. Yeah, I know. Fred Savage is
Right.
Yeah, he looks potential.
Sweet. Hang on. So does that mean that Wilford is not a show anymore?
That's not who's on.
Oh,
Wilfred.
that's not
no.
Fred Savage.
No,
I
that,
see.
That was Jesse.
Oh, okay.
So, wait, when are we doing the text segment?
I
some
think
point.
now. What do you have?
Well,
Something to
no, I just happen to have my wife and I a long exchange. I
add?
didn't.
Never mind.
Okay.
Is there
Well,
some
just-
reason we were not included on? My wife included all of you on
Mm.
her text. Why did your wife
Not
not
include
include
all of
us on her text?
Yeah, that could be elitist. That could come
Yeah.
off that way.
Well, I don't think you would want to hear any of this stuff.
Oh.
That's
But-
debatable. But again, we're going back to debating.
Is that in reference to the darkies?
Okay, Brandon, why don't you pick up the negative side of this? Mark, you pick it up the
Well, hang on.
positive
I gotta-
for the text
I
segment.
am really
and-
uncomfortable in this chair. I need to.
Yeah, they're not.
I need to take out my concealed carry weapon.
Holy.
Wow.
Yeah, that would
And
be
there
a
is
firearm.
a gun right.
So that immediately makes Brandon the most Ohio.
Yeah, this is.
I would say.
Well, this is called.
I'm the least
This is called a
Ohio.
hostage segment where Brandon pulls his gun out because he wants to talk about something and we're unwilling.
Now that's going to be the thing we do, right? The gun sits in the middle of the table, and when somebody has the floor, are they going to take it when they're really heated about something?
Right.
We're gonna play spin the bottle, except this is spin the pistol.
Is that
Okay.
loaded?
It is absolutely ready to kill.
Yeah, I can't
Is the
imagine it would
safety
be
on?
unloaded.
I bleed.
I don't think there's a safety.
I don't
No, wait.
understand
That's
what
not
you.
what I do. I don't bleed. I bleed.
Hey, wait a
red
second.
blood.
I need to circle back around. My 2
That's
points.
normally
My
Brandon.
2 points on the thermos topic.
Okay,
I'm getting to the second point.
hang on.
Plus on Google Plus, by the way.
Brandon,
Let's start with point 3, which is the most pressing. Can we please?
Yeah.
what's point 3?
I don't know. You were about to
Oh,
make it.
I was on point 2, but
Which one's the gun?
well, that's a different point. I was going back to the thermos where I had a 2 point.
Well, let's start with 1 then.
Let's shoot the
Well,
2
one
pointer.
was why you brought up thermos in the first place.
I didn't have a reason, and I'm sorry. Go ahead to 2.
Number 2, Brandon mentioned he was on a unspecified location trip, which I realized we never talked about what we do for a living. And I think the listener would want to know that.
Oh yeah, Brandon is in the Navy. Are you? I'm sorry, Coast Guard. You're something guard.
Yeah, because he wears
Queen's
that
Guard?
little.
Did you wear a tall furry hat thing? What do you do?
That's British.
I am not Russian
Okay.
or
That could be Russian.
the guard of the palace.
Oh, you're in the guard. You're in the.
I guard.
Coast Guard.
I do guard.
You're.
I
yes.
am in the National
Yes.
Guard
The Army National
because I'm American.
Guard.
And that's what Americans do.
Or the Air National Guard.
See, I don't think that's what Americans do.
I
Not
think
all of them.
At this point is where the podcast becomes divisive.
Again,
which
it's
as,
debatable.
Well, Americans do that so the
As
rest of the Americans
it
can
should
do
be
whatever
divisive
they want.
because we are all divided
Let's talk about.
racially.
Did you
Well,
want to talk
among
about the
other-
Guard, or did
Well,
you want to
certainly,
talk
there's
about
bu-
what you do?
Among other
Well,
taxonomies.
Wait,
I-
all three of you are somehow related to the government here.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's odd, Eric, that you didn't know what Brandon did, even though you do the same thing.
You two are in the Guard.
Oh.
I know that you do like to demean him
Well,
sometimes.
I thought that he would get right to the point. and
I don't know why you thought
I
that.
I don't either. I should have asked Jesse what Brendan did.
Yes.
we might have an accidental fire here because I'm having a bullet jam as I'm trying to
Maybe you should put the gun down.
I'm trying to disarm the weapon to make it safe. And
Trying? Hang on. Do you not know how to do this?
I don't
Okay, so you are now less American than you just were 5 seconds ago.
look. I'm like every other American. I carry a gun whether or not I know how to use it. Okay, that's just my American privilege.
That is a good point.
Okay, Brandon.
It's not a right.
Let's talk about what you do for a second. Before everybody starts writing in thank you
It's a
letters.
privilege.
Okay. Thank you for your service. You're writing it to the wrong people. All right. Brandon went to Guam/Hawaii.
I got it. There it is.
Thanks. There was a round in the
Yeah,
chamber.
there's a
right?
reason
That
he
was
didn't
a
go
bullet.
to Iraq.
He's not exactly a SEAL. All right.
No.
Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that.
But I did get my marksman ribbon
right. So
in the Air Force.
with a scope on an M4, which is like a machine gun with a scope, an assault rifle, he got marksman. No one cares. Aside from that,
America.
I am also in the Guard, and I have exactly as much. I deserve as many letters. 0. Don't write us any letters. Thank
like it-
somebody
I'd
else.
like at
Somebody
least
else
one.
deserves your thanks. It's not us.
I
Yeah.
would like one letter
You're
from
saying, like-
Norm Abram.
Well, now, did you go? You've gone to Iraq.
No.
No.
Oh, my
Oh,
wife
your
has.
wife did,
Yeah,
right.
send her letters.
Send her a letter. That's
Actually,
fine.
I'm not allowed to give her address away, but
Okay.
you're welcome to call her. Her number is 614-537-1095.
And feel
Call
free
her.
to text that too.
Text
just
her and
flood
just-
her with
yeah.
texts.
My
well
wife
wishes.
has served in Iraq, in Baghdad during war. She's a big deal. Text her.
Yeah,
and just
she
her
deserves
thanks.
the thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say so.
If you call her, feel free. That's fine. You can call her and just ask for her.
Right.
That number is not her direct line, but
Don't
that's-
even ask for it.
Yeah, just-
say thank you.
Yeah,
they'll
just say
get-
thank
she'll
you
get the
and hang up.
message. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's easier that way.
She'll get the message.
How long was she in Iraq?
Too long for Eric's penis.
Not 6 months. I think it was 5 months. And
A short breath.
that is true. That was a long time. She was in basic training for that same amount of time. Although that is my fault because I signed her up because they gave me money for every person that I signed up. So I talked her into it. So thank her again. Once again, don't write me any letters. I didn't do it for you.
What did you
Send
do
her the letter.
with your penis while she was away?
It was lonely time.
He made a board game.
Yep, I made a 3D version of Settlers, depending on how you say it, of Catan or Catan, depending on how you say it. And
With like, you
Yeah.
sculpted it. You made
Yeah,
plastics
yeah.
of it. You painted it.
it was a really dorky period in my life.
Yeah, but I would like to add that it was really well executed.
Yeah,
Eric.
it
Thank you.
It looks great.
Thanks.
But I'll never forget when Amy got home and you picked her up from the airport.
Yeah.
And I was there. She was running to your arms. And you guys embraced and then said, let's go play Settlers.
Yeah, she was.
That was the first thing you guys did.
That was basic training, actually.
I thought it was let me trade your wool for my wood.
Yes,
I thought
that
that's
was-
actually what she said.
That's right. That was basic training. She was very much. We were playing a long distance game at the time, which we don't.
Short distance.
Right.
In your case.
Well, not that short. Medium distance game. And that's exactly how it went down. Iraq was different. Iraq, there was no game. When she came home from Iraq, it was
She was a
very-
changed person.
She changed her. She was a little taller, actually, And
She was a tall woman to begin with.
yeah, she was already 5'9.5". Now she's 5'10.5".
And you
don't
would,
ask me.
You would think tanner too, but she came back more pale.
I am
yeah.
taller than her. I'd like to
I'm-
add, I am taller than Amy.
I'm 60% sure she never went to Iraq, and the whole thing was a sham.
A sham wow.
She might have gone to North Dakota.
Does she have another family there?
I wouldn't know. She wouldn't tell me.
Fargo?
Far
gone?
go or
Far be it from me from
Right.
guessing where she would be.
Fargo it. I don't think it was Fargo. That's a pretty big town. I think she was in Minot.
I think that's only big on television. I'm not
This-
sure it's actually a big
Why not?
town.
It's pretty big.
Is it?
It's not that small.
Interesting.
Did you ever talk about this with her?
No, and I'm realizing that now.
Yeah, she might actually hear this. Is that's what your concern is?
I'm not going to be able to do another one of these. I think we probably need to not do another one. Now that I realize.
Jesse, did you have? Was there another point to your Thermos question?
What was your third point? Just go to that.
No, the third was the gun. That was the third.
That was the third.
That was weird, wasn't it?
The fourth one was the next segment we were going to talk about.
Right. Which Mark,
Gun
go ahead
control
and
in America.
explain the
Mark
next
was going to
segment.
explain the
Which
next
was gun control in America.
No, I think that's under politics. We don't talk about that.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's a good.
Mark, do you not have
I would say that's a
4G
good
in
thing
your
to
basement?
discuss.
I need some 4G
You need to
LCD in
get
my
on my
basement.
Wi-Fi.
What's your Wi-Fi password?
It's not coming up.
I'm not going to connect.
Oh, now
It's
it
right
came up.
above us. It's literally right above
I
us.
see it.
My end game here is to disprove Eric and Minot. Is Minot even a city?
And go ahead with that password, Mark.
Okay, the password. Are you guys both ready for this?
The password is...
Can we play like
727
sexy password or whatever it's called?
842.
Is that the pyramid game?
727-842.
What?
Man, that cell phone was being picked up on your microphone.
That's a really boring password, might I add.
That's my old phone number in Florida. So you could call it. Tell them that
That
you-
line is still open.
yeah. For just a limited amount of time if you want
Yeah.
to make your donations.
We don't have much time, guys. If you have, let's see, where are we at, Mark, in the podcast?
We are hitting at this point 40 minutes. Is what
40?
It says. It
Okay.
might be less after I have to take out some of the beginning. So
You
maybe
have-
like 36.
You have 9 minutes then. Till 45 minutes, we'll say they can call.
All right, so what did we establish here for the podcast?
Well, what we haven't discussed is what we won't discuss. I think that's really good to bring up. Don't you think in the first episode? So,
Sure.
So politics is going to be one that we're not going to discuss on this
Right.
that we've agreed to.
Well, yes, we're not going to debate it.
We're not going to debate it. I mean, things might come
We're
up,
not-
but it's
yeah.
going to be in jest or
Right.
it's in
On the
it's
side,
light. No
it-
one takes it serious. We're not getting into pro-life, pro-choice.
It's not going to be the main
We're not getting
focus.
into
yeah, because we all know what's the right answer there.
Right.
We're not going to get into Republicans or Democrats.
Again, same thing.
Right.
Right.
So we're going to leave that one alone. One of
Eric's
the
the
things we've
Democrat.
also agreed to is sports.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I've been looking at a creepy crawly alien
Oh my gosh.
that's on the wall.
Okay, that is a huge spider.
There's a
Jesse, could you
spider.
take a picture of that for the
listener? I'll do that.
for our Twitter when we finally
Yeah, we're
start
gonna-
one.
It's been making me very uncomfortable,
That thing
and I
is
can only
pretty
imagine
Yeah, that's
how
pretty-
uncomfortable that thing is.
Well, it's more afraid of us than we are of him.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Well, that's what
That's
they
what
say about like.
I have to
I-
tell my wife every night.
I guess if 4 ogres came into my house and started doing a podcast.
Ogres.
Is that what we are?
Well, we are compared to that spider. I would
Now,
say we
that's
are.
the name of the podcast, right?
4 ogres.
Ogres.
4 ogres in a podcast.
Save it for the ogres.
4 ogres come into a basement.
So we're also not gonna talk about sports.
Right.
And there's two reasons for that. One
that's
reason
true.
is there's 2 of us who aren't very sport
Wait,
Wait,
before you
knowledgeable.
say that,
Jesse and Mark?
let me say this.
Jesse
The-
and Mark, right?
The reason we're not doing sports, one.
Well, no. I said there was going to be 2 reasons.
Well, I know.
One
Well, hang
reason,
on.
I'm going with the lighter side
But
for one.
what I
One
want to
is-
say is the only time that we'll talk about sports is the
Well, that's exactly
the
right.
sports segment.
Right, that Brandon
will
do on his own, and that's because
right.
there's 2 of us who aren't quite into sports.
Right. It's going to be
But
small.
I think the
I'm going
reason-
to ask Brandon what he thought of a you know, if it's a national championship or a Super Bowl,
Yeah. When
or
the
a
time
World
calls for
Cup.
it.
I
Yeah.
mean, something big that passes.
Yes.
Brandon will. I'll
Correct.
talk
For
to
example,
about
Brandon,
it.
what'd you think of that Monday Night Football game last night?
Which one?
The Seahawks
was-
played
yeah.
last
There
night.
were at least a handful.
No.
There was
the
a NASCAR event.
Right, football. Monday Night Football
Monday
is
Night
typically
Football is a football game.
right.
I know the jingle. Yeah.
But see, we could debate that
I
because
think,
Monday Night Football is also in England.
Is it? It's
You-
on Monday.
No, but it's soccer there.
But
they
they're-
really do have Monday Night Football.
They have so many days.
They have the same amount of days as we do, actually.
Okay, I don't want to spin off here, but I want to bring something up really quickly, because in England,
I think the Pacers did quite well.
in England they speak the same languages as we do.
English,
Technically.
British
They
English.
speak English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark and Eric,
When they say
do you need a refill?
football, spelled what? FUTBOL.
Well, depending on what part
Not
of
in
the world
England,
you are.
but
Not in England, but in other parts of the world.
In
correct.
England,
they pronounce it.
they spell it how
the
we spell
word
it.
soccer came from England. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it did.
Association something something something.
But-
Whatever it was, it came from England.
Yes, once we grabbed onto it, they quickly let go of it.
Now, when somebody else says football,
Right.
they aren't actually talking about feet and balls. Am I right?
That's more the fetish site.
Well, I don't think foot is foot in any other language. Is it?
Football. Yeah, football. That
Like
is
in
why they call
Spanish,
it-
it's not.
it's not.
No,
No.
right. But
And
they
that's a
do-
big one.
Well, here's
Yeah.
why. Okay, here's why though.
Yeah.
Because soccer did start in England. I mean, they get the credit for it essentially.
So they named it football.
Football, correct? Because you do use a foot with the ball.
And then the other countries said football, but
Football.
they spelled it
Differently.
phonetically for
Correct.
their language.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And then England changed the term to soccer,
No. Well, they called it soccer as a slang.
which was short for an acronym, or
Well, you know how like
it was an
English-
acronym, I think.
No. But you know how English have like a lot of words like that are like kind of slang to
No,
things.
I think it came from something.
Well, I think because it's I'm not sure where it actually came from. I mean, that maybe you're hitting the crap out of it, and so it's socking it, and it's soccer. I don't know, but what I do know is America grabbed onto the word. It was used by the English, and then as soon as we latched onto it, the English very quickly let go of it and made it very American at that point.
Okay.
And
And
so
the English still say soccer.
they no
No.
we say soccer, right?
The
Hold on, I'm
English say
Googling it
football?
right here.
Yeah, and then so
Do the English still say
And
football?
there it is.
yes, the English still call it football.
It says soccer. The term soccer came up in 1822. There was Sir Johnny Johns.
Which was right.
That was JJ, correct, JJ?
JJ was with his wife and children. Scrolling down, says they were out in the yard.
Right.
And he told his kids, if you want to play with this ball, you got to get a soccer.
Oh.
And he was trying to think of something else, it says. Couldn't come up with anything.
Cleat was what he was looking for, probably.
Yeah, could
But
have
they
been.
said
Who knows?
soccer.
But so his kids made fun of him. They're like, "Yeah, Dad, soccer, soccer."
And so they kept making fun of
And
it.
then his wife, soccer.
So we are continuing basically the bullying practices
is a bit
of the 1820s.
If you want to think of it that way, yeah.
Hashtag bullying. Well,
And so, anyway, so we don't talk about it because two of
Right.
us don't quite follow it, and then two of us follow it, I'd say almost too closely that I think it scared the other two of you away
yeah, that's
from
possible.
following it. I would say there's probably a chance of
You
that.
guys have polarized that subject for
Right.
yourselves and others.
Right. And so,
Okay.
Well, to that fact, I would like to add that I did play midfield, left midfield,
All right.
when I was younger.
okay.
Mark, how many years
stellar.
of soccer have you played?
Professionally,
No.
like club? So zero of club.
Okay.
But organized, I would say just hobby.
Okay. So I've probably played more soccer than you.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's move on. Let's okay,
So
so,
we're not
the
gonna
two
talk about
things we're
politics and
not talking
sports.
right.
Is there anything else? I mean, right now, like of a major, like heated issues. I don't think there's.
There aren't, but
Well, we're not going to do like a 9/11 episode.
Yeah. So just to sum it up, we are not going to talk about sports and politics. I think it's not even for the listeners' sake, but probably so that we all remain friends.
Right.
yes.
And a little bit of both.
What about costs? Headphones?
Cost $0 for you.
No.
Pardon?
Not the cost of Koss headphones. Koss headphones as a sponsor.
Oh, yes, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Koss Headphones. When you want to hear something good, hear Koss.
And I think
Koss
Beats by
Dre.
Malaysia. Oh, Dre.
Beats by Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Yes,
That's right.
That's where those are
Okay.
from. Beats by Cambodia.
Right. Koss and Beats by Cambodia.
And again, thank our sponsors, Bic. Bic, wherever stressed out parents are shopping with their kids.
Now, have we looked up the legalities
Bic.
of saying our sponsor if they're not really our sponsors? Do you know if there's? I mean, I'm not that worried about it because if they try to
Well,
sue
just
us,
to be safe, let's just say none of these are our sponsors.
well, no,
yet.
let's just say actually none of them except one. But you have to figure out what that one is.
Right. That's up to you.
You'll see it in the credits at the end.
Right.
And if you don't see the credits, you can call.
614-537-1095.
Right.
And that is a 24-hour line. Call it whenever you want. I know a lot of you might be in the next time zone, 2 time zones, Hawaii.
But
I don't
we've
know
set
where
up.
you're at, but-
We've prepared for that.
Yep. You call 24 hours a day. You can call that number.
Yeah.
Just ask for one of 2 names. Ask for Eric Lambert or ask for
Brandon.
Save It for the Podcast.
Oh, okay.
The
Hashtag
podcast.
Brandon.
Do you have
Yeah.
to say hashtag when you call? Does it? It just makes it easier.
No,
right? Is that what it is?
It posts automatically.
And don't forget to thank Amy.
If you text it.
Pound-
Right. Oh,
pound
yeah.
sign.
Thank Amy
Oh, yeah.
there at the number.
Yeah.
For her service.
She's taller than.
So I would say
Heather.
that going forward, we're going to probably have a little more structure. This is our first episode, obviously.
Right.
You're listening to episode number 1. We didn't even have a name before this episode.
Right.
So we've worked that. I mean, we've kind of come pretty far in just one episode. I think in future episodes, we'll have segments.
Yes.
Definitely. Special guests.
Starting with
Special
episode 2,
guests.
most likely segments. Starting with episode 3 or 4, a special guest.
The celebrity guests, too, I've heard.
I haven't heard anything about that.
From the four of us when we talked about it.
No, but besides us.
Yeah, I'm saying I haven't heard it outside of the 4 of us.
Right,
But
okay.
I do know I've heard it from within our group
Okay.
that we were going to have celebrities come on. So
If you are interested in
Yes,
being a
absolutely.
Celebrity
guest,
Celebrity guest.
a celebrity guest on our show, please text us. You know the number by now, 614-537-1095.
537-1095.
And
a
once
ringtone.
again, most likely people that are listening to this episode that are not our wives are probably listening to it
Die
just
Hard.
to go back in time a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's like a time capsule.
We're
like a little
probably
time
on
capsule.
20. We're probably
Back to
actually
2000,
know the name of the
2000.
show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We actually know how to do it a little bit. This is
Right.
going to seem quite amateur, and I don't even
But if you
apologize
want
for that.
no, I'm sure many of them want to do a Memento style listening experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where
I
they're
mean, but
working
look-
backwards and want to
Sorry.
see, oh, now it makes sense because
Yeah.
now I know what Brandon
Yes.
looks like.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah. That'll
Now
help.
I know what Mark looks
Yes.
like.
Christopher
This
Nolan.
makes sense.
Yeah, that blonde hair. and
Or
the-
I wanted to hear that little part of Dane Cook on the 100th episode.
Dane
Right.
Cook.
I mean, this is the only place you'll hear that.
100.
Until
Right, so you
get
might
to
start in the
100.
middle, go backwards for some reason,
And
and then
then
go
go
forward
forward.
to that 100th
Yeah,
episode.
right.
Right.
Has anybody at the microphone presently experienced the effects of alcohol consumption?
And you know what I'm going to say to that? Save it for the podcast
Save it for.
next week.
Oh, that's a good closer.
That's a great closer.
Okay. Close it.
That's it. We're closed.
Save it for the podcast.
This is where you got the zip sound effect.
Does everyone have to say it?
Save it for the podcast.
Podcast.
Have questions or comments for the show? Email us at saveitforthepodcast@gmail.com. That's 2 podcasts in the address. Want to support the show or buy us a drink? Head over to saveitforthepodcast.podcast.com. Again, that's 2 podcasts in the address. Once you're there, click on the Buy Us a Drink tab and become a backer. While you're at our site, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud. We'll talk to you next week on the Save It for the Podcast podcast.